G'day, it's Ash from VisionLINE, and today we're doing a product walkthrough of the VisionLINE Air Flue system. So the VisionLINE Air Flue system is an insulated flue system which differentiates itself from standard flue systems on the Australian market, or what's commonly known as an Australian default flue system. To be able to understand the benefits of an insulated flue system versus a default flue system, we need to have a look at a default system first. So looking at a drop box, which is what's traditionally on an Australian default flue system, you can see a series of holes that run around the outside of it. And the idea between that is that it's bringing in air from the room itself to be able to ventilate the cases underneath the cap that's through your roof. So that's what's keeping the flue cool and giving the ability to be able to run through a combustible area like a ceiling cavity. The issue with that is that all that nice warm air that's being created by your fireplace is being lost at the ceiling height to be able to keep these casings cool. That's where an insulated flue system comes in. So looking at this piece of VisionLINE Air insulated flue that we've got here, we actually have two pieces of 25mm insulated piping, so one on the outside and one on the inside, and that's what's keeping this flue cool and giving it the ability to be able to run through without losing any of that nice warm air or efficiency inside your room out through the cap itself. Traditionally, when you're passing through a ceiling cavity, you need to use a sealing ring, much like the ring that we've got here. But on an Australian default flue system, you'd need to use 12mm spacers to be able to keep that sealing ring off the actual plaster roof itself and to be able to have ventilation and airflow through there. The really unique thing about having an insulated flue system like the VisionLINE is that this ring can actually sit firm up against the actual ceiling itself and seal off. So it means that you get a nice real clean finish, which looks great, but also too means that again, you're not losing any efficiency into the ceiling or into the roof space itself from the fire itself. So really increasing that efficiency is really important if you do have a highly energy efficient house, 6 or 7-star rated, that you're not losing any type of efficiency where you don't need to. So once that double wall packed insulated piping has come through your ceiling, it goes through what we call a transition piece, which is this section that we've got here. Looks very similar to what we refer to as a drop box on an Australian default system, with the obvious difference there that we don't have any holes around the outside because we don't need that ventilation, which again is just keeping us all room sealed. So that's transitioning into an 8-inch piece of flue, which is going to then go down to the actual fireplace and connect to the spigot of it. So looking at that 8-inch flue that comes through, again, double wall piping going through there, and that's preheating the air before it goes to the fireplace itself, which again helps the fireplace's efficiency, but also too means that you're not losing any of that heat that you'd normally get from a default flue system as well. So that flue is quite warm, we're getting a nice amount of radiant heat off that as well. So all Quadrifire and VisionLINE fireplaces have always had the ability to be able to hook up to outside air. Outside air gives you the ability to be able to bring air for combustion from outside. So all slow combustion wood fireplaces need oxygen to combust. Normally that's taken from inside the room and it's coming in ambiguously through door cracks or ventilation to be able to make the fireplace combust. As more houses become energy efficient, they become airtight, which means that the ability for the fireplace to be able to function correctly is greatly hampered by its inability to be able to get oxygen. That usually results in a lazy fire or the fire not working correctly or snuffing out. When you fit an outside air kit to the unit, it means that we're totally overcoming that and reversing the pressure and allowing the fireplace to operate correctly. With a VisionLINE air system, the beauty is that we can do it with one system. So we have an insulated flue system which helps your efficiency by not losing any air through the drop box, but we're also helping the efficiency of the fireplace by bringing in air for combustion using exactly the same system. So just going back to that packed insulated flue we were looking at before, you can see that there is a layer in between the two pieces of packed pipe, and that's what's giving us the ability to be able to bring air in. So as opposed to a traditional cap which sits up on your roof, you can see that the cap we've got here has got your traditional section here which is ventilating through, but underneath there we've actually got a large shroud, and then underneath there it's bringing in air for combustion down that flue to the fireplace and allowing it to operate correctly. So what we're creating in essence is a balanced flue wood burning fireplace. So next efficiency we talk about is the efficiency of the fireplace itself. So slow combustion wood fireplaces use what we call the stack effect to be able to combust correctly. So once you've lit the fire, warm air heats up the flue system and this creates draw and the stack effect. With an Australian default flue system, it's an air-cooled flue system, so it does take longer for the flue to be able to generate heat to be able to get that stack effect going. Likewise, at the end of the burn cycle, the flue cools down a lot quicker because it is air-cooled, which means that the fireplace doesn't operate correctly to the full capacity that it can at the end of the burn cycle. With an insulated flue system, it means that we're going to be able to establish heat in that flue quicker and get that stack effect happening a lot quicker. But more importantly, at the end of the burn cycle, we're going to be able to maintain flue temperature for a lot longer, which means that we're going to get a longer burn out of the unit and more burned down ashes inside the fireplace. So as opposed to having bits of unburnt timber left in the bottom of the fireplace because the fireplace has lost its stack effect or draw, we're going to be able to maintain that longer, meaning that you're getting a more efficient fireplace. So the construction of the actual flue system itself is vitally important as well. So the first thing you notice is that it's a powder coated finish that's on there as well, so it's a durable finish. You also notice that there's no folding on the actual flue system itself, it's all seam welded, and that's because the inner and outer of this flue system is 316 stainless steel. The VisionLINE Air system was designed in Norway to suit Scandinavian construction, which calls for high efficiency due to the climate within the region. The flue system's tested to EU and CE standards in Europe, and in Australia is tested to Appendix F of 2918, which means that the system is fully approved to Australian standards and considered a default flue system. VisionLINE Air system has a 5-year warranty on it, which is one of the largest warranties on the Australian market for a flue system. So that wraps up our walkthrough of the VisionLINE Air Flue system. If you'd like further information or more technical advice, please go to our website www.visionlinefire.com.au. Thanks a lot.